Here at CRC, we believe that the church is the hope of the world, and God has called us to raise leaders who can create the right changes we'd like to see in our communities. This passion and belief has led to us planting churches all across the world. And on The Drift today, I had an opportunity to sit down with Pastor Stephen and Andrea originally a few weeks back on the eve of their departure from London to go start a brand new CRC in Manchester in this edition of Taking Ground. Pastor Stephen and Andrea, it's so good to be able to sit down and talk to you guys on the eve of your departure to Manchester. Really sad time for us here in London, but again for Manchester. Just talk to me about today in being released in church.
Well, Dela, this is officially our last Sunday here in London. So I mean, it's mixed emotions. It's very exciting what God's doing. It's very exciting to be part of this vision, to take it further, because we all pray for the vision to go further, but it's a different story actually physically taking the vision further yourself. So being released today was an amazing moment, but it's definitely surreal. Definitely feels like you just sort of you just roll with it. You just roll with everything, and you just thank God for the opportunity, and thank God for everything that He's done in both of our lives, through CRC London, through Pastor Darby and Pastor Karen, through everyone in the church, and Jesus Himself constantly working through us. Over the last 10 years, it's been awesome.
You're absolutely loved in CRC London. I mean, yesterday we were together at your leaving day, your departure evening, and seeing the people there, just excited for you. You've actually touched so many people's lives, including myself. 5 years in the game, youth group together, and I think what something you really carry is a genuine love for people, and I think you're excellent, a perfect couple to go and start a church in Manchester. And again, it's about our vision, isn't it? It's good for Manchester, a loss for us here, but good for Manchester. Andrea, what must it feel like to get that call or message? I don't know how it happened. Can you tell me how it happened, where you just find out, yep, we're going to Manchester?
Well, Dele, Stephen called me and said Pastor Toba wants to meet with us together. Pastor Toba had already met with Stephen.
It was a Monday morning, wasn't it?
Yes, I was working from home, so they came around, and Pastor Toba just sat us down, was very relaxed, and just said that this is what he feels the Lord is saying, and it's been confirmed, and how do I feel about it? And I think it is very surreal, like Stephen says, it's a surreal moment. And then obviously it's unfolded from there, and it's become more real now. So I think I was excited, scared, nervous, fearful, all these emotions, and obviously over the months it's become real, and we're going now. So very excited, but obviously we're going to miss everybody and miss London so much. But we're so thankful for London to be part of this vision and to be part of the same church, and thankful that God wants to do something through the CRC vehicle in Manchester.
Fantastic stuff. You mentioned about the vision. Our vision is to build one church in many locations, nationally and internationally. So these things will happen. It's not a negative, it's what we pray for leaders to rise up, for pastors, for churches to be planted, because it's about the vision, it's about those who don't know Jesus. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to in Manchester, whether it's I don't think it's the weather, but maybe it's the food or the people, definitely not the weather. Is there anything in particular that kind of strikes out to you, you're like, yeah, Manchester?
I think it's just, look, confession time. Before praying about Manchester and everything, I have never actually been to Manchester. So it was a very unexpected shift in our sort of lives. When I went there the first time, I was quite blown away. The city itself is an amazing city. It's full of young people, cool people, lots of things going on. There's loads of places to eat, loads of places to see. The people are top-notch people, man. They're just such a vibe, such a community. So actually, when I went there the first time, I came back saying, Lord, I'm so thankful that you see what we don't see, man. Because I never imagined it, but He imagined everything beforehand. And when I got there, I was like, oh, this makes absolute sense why we're going to Manchester. Right. So we love the city, man. And it's not just it's the whole, it's just the vibe that's there, and I think anyone that is in a similar position will know, no matter what it is, if God's called you for it, as soon as you start stepping your feet on that ground, you feel it. You're like, this is me, man. This is me now. So the small things don't matter. The weather doesn't matter. The location doesn't matter. What matters is that we're in the will of God.
Amen.
So we're ready to devour the city. We're ready to attack like never before. One of the things I'm most excited about is seeing lives change. I know it sounds like a pastor thing to say, but that's the stuff. That's our bread and butter, man. If people's lives aren't going to change, then I won't even bother going. But I know that lives are going to change. That's what wakes us up in the morning, seeing souls saved, lives change, and we are going there to do it. We're not going to play games in any way, shape or form. We're going to reap a tenth of that city, like our vision says. We take a tithe of every city we go into. We're not going to alter it or tweak it. We're going to run with the vision that was set before us, and we're going to trust God that the power is in that. The power's in the unity, and the power's in just following the what is set before us. I mean, Pastor Rat and Pastor Rat have literally made it so possible for us just to step into our calling as a young generation, step into their calling, because we go to Dream Week, we go to Pretoria, to Bloemfontein, and we see, this is happening before my eyes. We see Pastor Talbot, Pastor Corin doing it in London. We see Pastor Jeffrey in Edinburgh. We see Pastor Andrea in Amsterdam. We see it happening. So we're like, we can do this, man. We can do this.
And my last question is, in going to Manchester, obviously leaving London, what can we here in London do to kind of push that forward and what you're going to establish in Manchester?
The way that we've started home cells already and stuff. The way that we did that was just through connections. One person said, look, I know someone in Manchester. I would give them a call, invite them to the home cell, meet up with them, and that has been really successful. We've got contact people, roughly 15 to 20 people have already sort of come to a home cell, come to a meeting, and then we've connected with them. So if you know anyone, if anyone in London knows anyone in Manchester, let us know. We are more than willing, more than able, and I think that's a really encouraging thing about going up there, is that we've already started the home cell there. I've been going up weekly. We went up together the other week, and we're building great friendships. So already you can see God's hand is on this. This is going to work. People, England, this nation, they need CRC. They need Jesus. They need it through this vehicle, man. Not that it's the only vehicle, but it's so necessary, man. So we are 100% convinced, man.
Awesome. It's just to tie it in together, to support you guys. Obviously, we're going to be praying for you. But if you have any connections in Manchester, get connected to Ps Stephen and Andrea. Guys, you are absolutely incredible. You're absolutely loved here in London. And again, I say it again, I don't think there could be any other couple best suited to take the vision to Manchester. Thanks, guys. Pastor Stephen and Andrea are so dear to our hearts, and we know that because of them, that we're going to see an explosion of souls in Manchester. Hey, thanks for watching The Drift today. We'd really appreciate it if you showed some love to Pastor Stephen and Andrea by posting the comments in the comment section below. You can watch all of our senior pastor, Pastor Tom Murray's sermons at crclondon.com. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you soon.